Okay, welcome in everybody. Welcome to the Women's Wellness Network and welcome to our global interview with another worldly person here. Di- Hello, Diane. Come back to come back to Earth.
Okay, I'm on my way. There we go.
They're so fun. My goodness. It's really weird, right? It really makes you look like you're dimensional. You're like
Yeah.
made of energy completely. And right there just kind of proves, I think. Anyways, how cool. Thank you for coming to the show today. How wonderful to have you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak and share and communicate with all of your group. It's really beautiful.
Well, thank you for coming to our group. Thank you for coming to speak with us today. And yeah, welcome to the Women's Wellness Network. So why don't you start by introducing yourself and telling us where you are in the world?
Okay, so my name is Dhyan G, and I am actually in Cheshire at this moment in time. I've been traveling around a lot recently, but yeah, I'm in Cheshire, up north in the UK.
Okay, well, very nice. How is your weather there today?
It's actually not that great.
Ah, bummer.
No, yeah, it's just cloudy and stuff. It's fine. We get used to it here in the UK. It's all over the place at the moment.
Right. Well, that's okay. Well, we're here now. We're here together on the Women's Wellness Network in our little global container. And yeah, why don't
Exactly.
you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what it is that you do in the world?
Okay, so I am a spiritual teacher. I'm a meditation teacher, and I am here on this planet at this time to help people with their awakening journey, and also um, to help ground the energies, the Kundalini energy in the body for those that are experiencing that, and to offer guidance as well.
Yes. Well, yeah, there's a lot of things going on the planet right now, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's good to have guides. It's good to know who we can reach out to. And like you said, like things like grounding the Kundalini energy. A lot of people don't
Mm.
even know what that is. So would you mind explaining that a little bit?
Sure, absolutely. So, on this journey of awakening, and more so at this time in the world, we have energy wheels of energy that run down the front of the body and the back of the body, and they're called chakras. And each chakra has a color, a sound, a symbol, an energy, and an experience in your life. And Kundalini energy is held at the base of our spine. And it's the primordial energy of awakening and creation. And it lives within each one of us. And it's centered at the base of the spine. And over people's lifetimes, sometimes very quickly, sometimes very slowly, this energy moves up through the chakras. And as it moves up through the chakras, it helps you to evolve to a different experience of your life, a different frequency, if you like, a different dimension, we could also say. So at the moment, that energy is moving faster and faster because we are in a time where we are creating a new experience here on Earth. And we are all a part of that experience because we're all connected. So we are all vessels for that energy to move through and bring in to being the new creation. So, what I help to do is to ground, also activate the energy through my darshan blessings, but also ground that energy in the body if you're experiencing it. And it can be it can be very intense. It can be a very intense experience, or it can be a very slow, calm experience. It just depends. And everybody has a different experience of it. And some people don't experience it at all.
Right.
So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting. And I've had an experience with it myself. So I know that intensity of it. And when if I couldn't imagine what it would be like if I didn't have some knowledge of it, it would have been a little bit alarming, I would think, for my
Mm.
personal, what had happened to me. Um, but luckily, I at least knew about it. And yeah, I think it's very interesting. And I think a lot of people could use a little deeper knowledge into what that is, because it's in our nature, it's in our being, it's part of who we are, it's part of how we interact with where we are on the planet as part of nature, right? That we're all nature.
Absolutely. Yes, it's awakening to our true nature, which is the nature that we are all pure consciousness in this experience of the world, of the earth, um, showing up as individuations of that consciousness
Right,
and having our own unique experience, our own unique qualities, gifts, talents, abilities, appearance, all the things that actually make us appear separate from each other.
right,
But the truth is, below or through all of the outside appearance, we are energy informed, and that energy is Kundalini, Shakti. It's beautiful energy of creation,
right. And
and
oh,
you could also, sorry,
well, no, I was just
you
going to
could
say
also
it's amazing.
say, you could also say that it's, that we are codes of light, we are codes of sacred geometry, because we are this beautiful, pure consciousness that has no form, no name, but we are brought into being by consciousness at the same time. There's a real paradox. So there's an ultimate reality, which is pure oneness, consciousness, nothingness. And then there's the relative experience of being in the body, having a life, you know, all of that that comes with that human experience.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. It's fascinating. It's so interesting. I like learning about it, and I think it's well, it's one of those things that make you feel like if you're getting there or you're having an understanding of even what it is, then you feel like you're on the path. You're really moving somewhere. You're really something's actually happening. So I mean, it's beautiful. Okay, you mentioned something else there, a modality that you use, Darshan. Is that how you say it?
Yes, darshan.
Yeah,
So darshan is a transference of energy through me into the person that I'm working with, or the group that I'm working with. And essentially, it's an activation of the Ajna center, which activates the third eye, helps to connect you with your own gifts, and also activates the Kundalini and brings the energy up through the body. So the essentially it's life changing. It may be subtle, it may be less subtle. It very much depends on who it is that receives it and where they are in their life and what they need in that moment.
right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. So when you work with clients, do you work with them just one-on-one, or can you work with them online also?
I have worked online. I've worked online globally with people all around the world over the years. I've also given darshan in a group setting over the years as well. And I also work one to one with people to help them with lots of things. I'm trained in various modalities, but one of the main things is that I use my intuition, and I use that to look at areas of well-being, as well as spiritual development, as well as circumstances, home. So for example, when I'm doing a one-to-one, I would tune into the person. I might pick up something that's in their home that's not doing them any good,
Mm,
or I may pick up as well as sometimes I pick up family members or friends that have moved on from the body. I may get messages for them, and I will scan their body and also offer sort of an etheric, multi-dimensional energy healing. I mean, don't want to use too many words, but it's not anything specific. It's my own modality now that I've learned over many years of learning lots of other things, and fine tuning it. So it's very different to how it was 10 years ago. So
Right. Well, that makes sense. We evolve, right? And
yeah, exactly.
yeah, we get more comfortable with what we're doing. And if you have other modalities that you utilize, can you tell us a couple of other things that you might use along with it?
So meditation is something that I've been doing since I was 7 years old. I lived on Osho's commune in America for 3.5 months when I was a 7 year old kid. And that was my introduction to meditation, my introduction to understanding a deeper spirituality. I already had an awakening when I was 6. And it felt like when I moved to America with my family, obviously they didn't know anything about this. It helped me to integrate that experience in a much deeper way. So my whole life has been about meditation, about spirituality, about connecting to the one source within us, and also the exploration of what that means to be in a body and be a human being. Even a child, teenager in my 20s, I've always gone inwards and explored what my experience is, what my emotions are, how, because I experience everything on a very deep, intense level,
Yeah.
which is it is a gift because it helps me to connect really deeply with the person in front of me. That's why I can do the work that I do. But I used to, when I was much younger, see all these sensitivities as challenges and difficulties. But
Right.
I've learned, obviously, over many years to accept them as gifts.
Right. Yeah. Now you can gift them to others while you do your work.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
exactly.
Was
Yeah,
there a moment
exactly.
for you that you thought, oh, I need to take all this stuff that I have inside of me and start delivering it to humanity? Or, was how did you decide that you were this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, there was a few moments actually. There was in 2012, I was going through a difficult breakup situation, and I was so in my mind, so in the suffering of the mind, and I couldn't see a way out. And I prayed to God to show me another way, and it's really hard to describe, but within a period of time, I was in a place of bliss, and I remained in that state of bliss for about 12 months. And then in 2013, I had what I consider my sort of main awakening, if you like, the classic awakening of everything going and being that pure consciousness. And it took me a little while to really, I guess, figure out what happened. I just knew that everything about who I am and my experience was, it was like having the slate wiped clean and starting again. And there was a lot of things I couldn't understand, like why people argue, why we have politics. Well, all the things in the world that create separation, I couldn't really understand because I'd seen the perspective which was above all of that. So essentially, beyond the mind, because it's the mind that creates all of that separation, and it's the mind that is manipulated into believing that and being conditioned into that as well. So it was between 2012 2013, I'd been doing some meditation. I'd been given the information to start a group. Within 4 weeks, I'd started this group, and at first it was more like a business networking type thing, but I realized that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to share the meditation. I wanted to share the gifts in some way, but I was focusing on meditation at that time. So I brought that into the events, and then many people from all over the world were attracted to coming to the events and being a part of that network of growing awakening. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was pioneering something that was helping lots of people, because the people that were coming from other countries were, they were quite known in their own right for their work and their work on awakening, and often they were spiritual teachers. So they would then take that energy and whatever I'd shared about them back home and be, so it was like this expansive ripple effect from one drop in the ocean, kind of spreading out to lots and lots of different places. And of course, all the people that came to the groups. And these weren't, they weren't huge money making. It wasn't like that. It was more, or it turned out to be more about the connection, about the spiritual aspect to it, about giving people new ideas on how to live, finding out about different modalities, meeting lots of different spiritual teachers, and finding out more about what spirituality is, and lots of other things in between. We had some incredible musicians over the years, and it was a gift for me, because it was a lady that I knew, and she'd asked me if I would do this in her home, and she had a space outdoors, and so that's where it all began, really. And I shared my meditation, so more and more people got to know what I was doing. Prior to that, I was very much a mum, looking after a son, and just kind of focused on that. And I'd left a lot of spiritual stuff behind through that relationship that had ended, and lots of other things. And so I knew at that time, particularly after 2013, I'd already started my group. I'd finished a foundation degree in complementary therapies. I knew it was my time. And what started to happen was people would come to me. There were lots of very unusual, let's say, things happened. And people were coming to me. They wanted to work with me. And and they were having awakenings with me. And I know that's not usually what people would say in these circumstances, but that's what the effect of my awakening was having on people. And I was able to hold that space for them so that they could go really deep into themselves. Yeah. And of course, that was a huge gift for me. I was there for my mum when she had her awakening, and I helped her to ground into that energy. And I helped other people as well. So that for me is the most important element of my work, because it helps people on so many different levels to navigate life. Now, it's not it's not the antidote to everything, because we are human beings. We have emotions. We're on this roller coaster, essentially, of the mystery of life, right? No one knows what's happening when it's happening. We like to think we know, but we don't. We don't have a clue, really. So, but what this does is it grounds you in yourself. It helps you experience life from a place of freedom. So you can look beyond a lot of things that are going on, and you don't need to necessarily get involved in that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't fall into it. You can just observe it.
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it doesn't stop you, for example, having challenges in relationships. It's all a learning. It's a mastery. It's a course of mastery. To be in awakening is mastering the human experience as a spiritual being.
Beautiful. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. So I'm thinking of so many things while you're talking. I'm thinking, wow, like, what if you got all those people back together, those first initial people, where would they be in their journey right now? And how many people would they have, you know, reached out to, have touched, have facilitated for? And then what's happened from those people? Like, it would be so interesting to reconnect with, those that initial group, just to see what they're doing because it must be amazing because you sound like you're doing really amazing things like resonant healing. I guess that's what I call it, like resonance, right? The resonance of
Yes,
your experiences come through you through your frequency,
yes,
and you're able to deliver that to people. And yeah,
absolutely.
I was getting chills. I was getting like goosebumps all over all over my body when you were talking. It's just like, wow, this is so incredible. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. So my wish now is obviously to share this with more and more people. I've gone through a lot of personal turmoil for the last few years. Lots of things have changed. I am essentially what you would call homeless at the moment, but I'm traveling around the UK, staying with friends, family, and allowing my life and my energy and my presence to to reach more people in different ways, lots of different ways actually, not always the obvious ways.
Well, that's the thing, right? You just never know. And being, as you said, you're homeless right now. I am also sort of in that way. And I think,
Bless you.
the universe puts you where you're needed. And then when it's time, then you're shuffled off to the next.
Yes, I don't see it as a negative thing. The things leading up to it were interesting, but the reality of knowing that living this freedom, truly living this freedom, that's what it means.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean being stuck in, not stuck necessarily, but in one place where I can't really fully share this, right?
yeah,
So, in order for me to be of the most use at this time, is I have to be out there with people and
yeah. I hear that.
looking, being able to receive the opportunities when they come my way, being open to lots of different opportunities and people and places and things.
Yeah, right. My goodness. Wow, an experience you've had, an interesting life. And I mean, living with, Osho, like how many people get to do that? And
Mm-hmm.
the things that must have facilitated right from the very beginning, have put you right here where you are now. And what a beautiful journey. So if our ladies would like to connect with you, reach out to you, find out more about you, how can they do that?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Dhyan G, and so you can message me there. I also have a page, but I've noticed that when people message me on my Facebook page, the messages don't always come through. So I would suggest messaging me on Facebook, actually. And if they don't have Facebook, then it would be Dhyan at elevateyourmind.life, and they
Oh,
can email me there. That'd
okay,
be lovely.
wonderful. Wonderful. Okay,
You
so
can find me on, sorry, I was
no, go
just going
ahead.
to say you can find me on lots of platforms. I'm on Instagram, TikTok. I've had a YouTube channel for many years now, and there's lots of much older videos on there, but they also contain a lot of fresh, clear wisdom as well as a video about my awakening not long after it happened. So it's very, very fresh energy in that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very interesting. See, now we need to know about that stuff too, because we want to know. We want to go look. We want to find out more about who you are and
Yeah.
your journey. I love that because we can then see your journey with your videos and who you are today sitting here compared to maybe the first ones that you started off with. And that in
Yeah.
itself is testimony, in my opinion. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that information. So Women of the Women's Wellness
Thank
Network.
you.
We are going to put all of the information in in comments. I was going to say the contacts. I always say that in the comments, the comment section, so that you'll be able to find Dhyan and connect with her, find out more about what she's doing, have a look at her YouTube videos. I'm going to go and have a look at those right after we're finished here. And yeah, Dhyan, is there anything else you would like to share with us today before we sign off?
um, I guess one of the main things I would like to share is a question for everybody. And it's are you living the life that you truly want to live? Or are you living somebody else's idea of what you should be living?
Mm, very good thought-provoking question, because I think a lot of
Yeah.
people don't even ask themselves that question.
Mm-hmm.
Most people who are not asking that question don't want to know the answer. So if we're willing to ask and willing to look, we might find something that we're might find we're ready for something that we weren't ready for before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So thank you so much for coming. It was really nice to meet you today and to share our conversation with you. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to go check out your YouTube videos. So yeah, thank you very much for coming today. And women of the Women's Wellness Network, until next time, be well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Much
Thank
love to you all.